Today we're speedrunning Age of War 1 and 2, and we're doing it on the hardest difficulties. Now our speedrun starts with us going in on impossible mode, and right away we can see the other base, we can see some cavemen starting to come out of it. Meanwhile our base, we're kinda just chilling for right now, because right away the very first thing we want to do is use our special. I'll wait until about 4 or 5 of these guys show up, we can use our special there, and as long as we hit 2 of them, we are good to go, because then we can buy the turret, the egg automatic. Now since this is impossible mode, our guys die incredibly easy. And that's why turrets are so important for this strategy. You'll see we bring out the first person and he literally dies in 2 hits. So we really need the turret to help us with that and make sure we have at least some amount of strength left, because otherwise they would just be able to outnumber us very easily. Also, shout out to Background Gaming 2.0's video on this game. I did a speedrun for harder difficulty 4 years ago, but the strats have developed a bunch, so I wanted to see how fast I could beat impossible mode now, and their video inspired me. For this video, we'll do an all ages speedrun, that way we can play through the whole game, along with an any percent speedrun afterwards. But it looks like we can use our next special right there, hit a couple of them, get a couple of those things, and really right now we just want to save up money. To add another turret spot, it's going to be $1,000, so that's kind of what I'm going for. Unfortunately, this guy, he is very much not about to survive this. I mean, takes 2 hits. That counts for something. But really, the beginning of this game is just use as little money as possible so we can slowly get more turrets and only use clubmen. And I can spam a couple of them, especially because they do have the slingshot men. We can use one of these specials, hope to get some good RNG with that. Almost everybody on screen, and now they're bringing out the Dino Riders. These guys are not good for us because literally what they do is they just stab us and it takes a single hit and we're dead. And this is 4 of them all in a row, which is why our slingshot's gonna be pretty important, because all I can do is just spam clubman after clubman, have them be very cheap, and at least they have to be in a straight line so we can't get multiple of these Dino Riders attacking us at the same time. You know, that counts for something. But I'm just letting them go through, stab us, but because we have so many clubmen and they can only stab one person at a time, they really can't do enough damage. And also, once we get this next special, that will just do tons of damage, hopefully hit a couple of those dinos, and yeah, we're pretty good to go. But you are noticing it's really hard to get up to the $1,000 right at the beginning, especially with all the clubmen we need to make, but it looks like they finally upgraded their building. It costs 4,000 XP to evolve to the next stage, but they can do it too, and they did it first, which is perfect for us, because that means they're going to be using more expensive units, and we'll be able to make more money off of those units. So while we're still sending out clubmen, they start bringing out people like these huge knight guys. And that is actually a good thing for us, because we're already dying in 1 hit anyways. Might as well just make more money off of it. And yeah, these guys also just kill us in a single hit. But we can use another special, hope to get some good luck. We're still one-shotting them with our specials, which is very nice. And that does give us up to $1,000. I will wait a second though, because if we were just to get the second turret right now, we wouldn't have any money for defense and our guys would just die. So you got to be very strategic about this game. You can't just go right the second where you get your money. You got to wait at least a little bit more, still use some clubmen, but soon we will have that second turret and it will be beautiful. Oh, by the way, yes, we do have enough XP to evolve to the next stage. We're just going to wait a bit. Clubmen are just so cheap, and if we get more expensive units, then they'll just cost more and barely do any more damage. It's not worth it. This strategy I found on Ace Player's video that they made 10 years ago, and I also learned from their Age of War 2 video to learn a cool strategy for that game too, but you'll see when we get there. And that is beautiful. We can get the egg automatic, and now we have 2 of those. But they're just going to come through. Unfortunately, this whole line of people, I mean, they'll be able to do some damage, just not nearly enough. Like, they're kind of damaging him slowly but surely. We actually do take him out just with our boys. You know, they succeeded in something in life before our turrets just take over. That's got to count for something. But now I do have to be a little bit careful. They did hit me right there. A little bit of damage doesn't really matter, though. As long as I don't go all the way down, I should be fine. And we do have another special. I'll use that right away. There is the horse. I'd love to hit the horse a couple of times. And the horse isn't just one shot. That took 3 hits with our meteorites, and finally we took it out. But these more expensive units, I do love to see them, because that just means I'm going to make more money, and that's exactly what we need. Now with this horse, it's just going to one-shot us like the regular guys, so there's really no difference between them. You know, that's their fault for not having AoE attacks. Those would completely destroy the strategy and probably make impossible mode actually impossible. Our next turret as well is going to cost $3,000, so we still are a little bit away, but we are making progress. We can use another one of these right there, and they did evolve to the next stage. That is all right. You know, we got these guys now. Still, we're going to wait on evolving. We are just saving up XP. Don't worry, it's going to be worth it. These guys will have faster attacks though, so especially for them, I want to make sure I'm spamming these clubmen. And once they get the ranged people, I've had it before where they've destroyed my runs, so I will be careful about that. We'll spam as many clubmen as we need. I am not going to take that risk. You do want to be careful. You don't want to overuse the clubmen, but you don't want to underuse them. It's a very interesting dichotomy. But we have a special here. Can we get kind of lucky? Yeah, they do make it over there, but that shouldn't matter too much. They get a couple of hits in. It won't really matter at the end of the day. And I also do have enough money for another egg, so I will take that. That's just going to do more damage. They now have the gun people. They're starting to do some damage, but that's 500 coins per every single one. They're making me money. And we only need one more of these turrets before we can finally start evolving through the ages, so I'm excited for that. What a nostalgic game, by the way. You just gotta love seeing this game. Oh, by the way, next turret cost is gonna be 7,500, so that is what we're waiting on, but I kinda, yeah, why not just use this right now? We'll see if we can get some lucky hits. It kind of looks like a lot of these fireballs are just narrowly missing people. You don't love to see it, but that's kind of just how this game goes. And we are starting to really make some money, but now they got these dudes, which have the cannon. They're the vehicle guys for this age. They just completely get rid of vehicles, but they do a ton of damage, especially if they're able to hit our fort, so we cannot be having that. We're spamming so many clubmen on them. Oh, and I do have my special if I can hit a couple of these guys, but look how they tank these meteorites. This guy just tanked like 3 of them. Dude's absolutely insane. How are you supposed to beat that? But I am close. Yeah, we might as well get our last egg, and soon we will be upgrading these turrets, especially because we're about to upgrade to a new age. I want to wait till I have $14,000 though before I do that. That's going to be our main thing. I have such a huge stack of clubmen right now. I don't even know how many must be there, but we'll use one of these. They're just tanking through them like usual. And they also now have their army men, who these guys just have knives, and they are very scary. We can take a look at their base. Looks like a pretty nice one. And don't worry, I will have one of those bases soon too. Yeah, you can see these guys have a really quick stabbing animation where they just completely destroy you. And that is why it's important to have 4 turrets right now. I've tried before 3. It is just way too risky. But looks like we about have the money we need if we get like one more special. But I don't want to rush it and just lose all of my base health. Okay, that should be good. We'll upgrade to there. We can sell one of these turrets. We go into here. We get the double turret. And this thing is now just insane. Finally, we have some pretty good damage on everybody, where a lot of the time I might not even need to send out people. You can see just how much damage all of this is doing to them, and one by one they're gonna go down. Even with their automatic guns, not much they can do against us. We're literal cavemen holding our own. I guess we don't have cavemen weapons, but you know, we're still cavemen. And we can also sell another turret right there. Get another double turret. And what are they gonna do? What are they supposed to do against this? Oh, we do have a new form of special, but we barely even need to use it because it doesn't even go that far, so I will save it for right now. But next step is just getting all 4 of our turrets into the double turret. And you know what? Might as well show it off. So we get this entire plane coming down with bombs, destroying these people. Drops right on his head, only does half of his damage, but still, that's more than enough to get us over there. And I can get our 3rd double turret right here. What are these people supposed to do against this? It's just over for them. But now all I have to focus on is trying to defeat that base as fast as possible. I mean, there is one more age, and we can get up to it once we get 200,000 XP. And I guess they also do have the tank now, which this thing is a beast. But it's not as much of a beast as us, because yeah, we can just have our turrets go. I don't even need to send out a person. It's not going to be able to get to us. And that means we can then sell this top one, go ahead over there, boom. And we're kind of just waiting for this next age to go. They really do think, hey, I'm bringing out an entire tank. It's definitely going to stop them. And then they see our array of turrets, and they don't know what's coming to them. Like, they only buy 1 turret. They're not very smart. They're not really thinking like we are. I guess they did have to make impossible mode actually possible, though, so that could be part of it. Might as well use one last one of these, though, see if it actually hits anybody. How much damage does that do to the tank? An all right amount. But with that exploding, we can now upgrade. We're now an alien building, and they are as well. They got the alien people, too. But the big thing, like usual, is going to be the turret. We want the ion ray, which is absolutely insane. Still, though, just for these regular people, people, our turret system, they do so much. And yes, that is the last age. You can't evolve anymore. We just get more XP forever. And we can check for selling, we get 7,000. So once we have 93,000, we can actually go and buy our first ion ray, which this is really where it comes down to the end of this game. Just, they can't do anything. They're sending out these soldiers. What are these? These are the blasters. They think they'll be able to do literally anything. They're not going to be able to. And with this guy, I think we sell our first turret. There we go. We get the ion ray. That thing goes absolutely insane. You see, it has a nice amount of range. It does enough damage where it just completely destroys them. And look how much range this thing has. It's crazy. So the ion ray is going to be our biggest strategy to win here, but you won't really see why that is until we have a couple more of them. So, you know, I gotta make some more money. Might as well use this laser blast while we're waiting. Does some damage. Doesn't really matter because our ion ray could have dealt with them anyways. Then we can go ahead, sell another one, get our next ion ray. Together, these things are starting to do a lot of damage. I'd love to use my special right now, help us get through these people, but we do have to wait for it to charge. And yeah, we could be buying these people like the super soldiers and all that, but I mean, you know already that this is a turret based game. You use the turret, and especially now, you'll see that every once in a while, these things, especially after they kill someone, some of the lasers will still go off and go straight to the base. So we can do damage to the base just with ion rays. And that is why these are so OP and why we'll be going for them. Now, with just 2 of them, it still does take us a while to kill their tank things. So we still do want another, which I actually can buy right now. This will be our 3rd guy. And now all 3 of those together, we absolutely obliterate through these tanks, through these soldier guys. They take a second, you know, they think they have a chance, but yeah, this is pretty much the end of the game now, because we'll absolutely destroy through that. It does a ton of damage right to the base, and unfortunately we do have to wait for something else to show up, but we can finally start taking care of this tank. I'd assume there's going to be one more soldier after the tank. Oh, another tank. Unlucky. Can I use that? Just barely doesn't even get there. What we really want to see to go fast is more of these soldiers we can take out right away, because that just gives us more and more base hits, like right there. Now we can sell one more turret, get one more ion ray. That does even more damage to this, and yeah, it's just over for them. So will it be this time? Oh, so close. Just one more. Come on, buddy. Just get taken out. We definitely get the sub 18. You know, that will be nice, except they keep sending out the tanks. Why? All right, tank, you just got to get done. There's one more person. If we take him out, all those things should hit it. 1726. Now we have Age of War 2. In this game's hardest difficulty is Insane Mode. And right away, we want to start out by getting a clubman and a slinger, along with getting support damage and range up. And right at the beginning, these are the only units we want to send out, because the enemy is always going to use their special meteor attack right there, and that would kill every single one of our units. So it just makes sense to wait that out, only use 2 people to stall those people, and then we can bring out some more of our guys and just kind of destroy through here. I usually like using 2 clubmen at the start and then some slingers afterwards. That way they can get all the range damage in, while the clubmen just take the brunt of the damage. And next up, we're going to want to get a dino hut. You need to unlock this with 300 gold to be able to get the dino guys, and they're going to be even better than the clubmen. They're 600 gold themselves, but just like with our other dudes, we're going to put them in front, put our slingers in the back, and they're going to be able to do their thing. Now, one important thing is we do have the special for a meteor, but that actually costs XP. Like right now, it costs 2000 XP, and we'd rather use that to get into our next stage, especially on impossible mode. That is important. So we're pretty much never going to use our special. We only want to use XP to get to the next stage, because again, this is an all ages speedrun. But our next one is going to be 7,000, and the enemy is actually able to get there first. You see by them changing this whole landscape. We will get there right then, and now we have the Spartans. We'll also get support damage up right there to level 2, so that's going to help even more, and that's especially good because for right now, all we're going to use are the Spear Spartans, because these guys are insane. They got good pretty much everything, and when you have them all together, they're able to do a lot of stuff, but the enemy is going to use their lightning attack right there. And that's one important thing. Through every single one of the ages, our enemy is going to use one of their specials. So I like making sure that until they do that, I just do not put too many units on the field, because I know they're just going to get one shot. So you got to be kind of wary about that before it happens. But for right now, we're pretty much just getting more XP and more gold, which we're going to use on upgrades. It does look like that they just got onto the next age. They're now in the Egyptian age, and we're able to follow suit right afterwards. So we can get that. We can also get some more upgrades, get that on our range, and then from here what we're going to want to do is put out an Anubis warrior and then put out some priests afterwards. That's going to be the same kind of strong guy in the front, range people in the back, and especially with these priests, they just go absolutely insane. Like, they have a good amount of range and they're just able to do so much damage. But there they go. They're actually going to use their special again, which was a good thing that I didn't have too many people out. That's why I'm very careful about that. They're also starting to bring out the people on their carts with the horses coming through them. Unfortunately, we're never going to get those guys. Or not really, unfortunately, because we don't need them. We got our ranged attackers. They're able to do more than enough. And we should be able to get to the medieval age before our enemy is able to, which is really good. And I wanted to chill there for a second just so I could get these better archers, because they're going to be able to do more damage. And yeah, everything is going amazing now. Being ahead of the enemy in this game is really good, because that just means we have extra damage. And you can see our guys just mowing through all these people. They don't even have a chance. They still aren't even on the same age I am. And now I'm going to want to start getting some anti-armor stuff. That's just a different type of unit, and we're going to be able to upgrade their armor and damage just to make them better. Pretty much the support guys and the anti-armor guys, the only ones we want to upgrade. For right now though, literally all we need are these archers. These guys go insane. Until we can eventually get 10,000 XP with that guy down, we can go over to there. Again, just get through this upgrade way faster than our enemy. And I can also get some more anti-armor stuff. And that's because the cannon is really good. Like last time with the dino, we will have to get that black powder upgrade to get those cannons. So I'll get a couple of cannons. I'll get some riflemen behind them. They're able to do the shots. And yeah, we're going with the same kind of strategy. But right away, they're going to be the arrows. It just kills everybody. I had a little bit more people than I would have wanted to have out right there, not gonna lie, but we should have more than enough gold. We're gonna be completely fine. But look at these dudes. They're bringing out them riding on these mythical beasts. This is insane, but they're still not nearly as strong as me. And there's gonna be 11,000. Now we're on to the modern age. We got machine gun soldiers at this point, and these people are great because yeah, they literally have machine guns. What are you supposed to do against these? Of course though, we still do have one more age. It's gonna be the futuristic one. Oh, there goes their special. Thankfully, I only had 2 machine gun guys alive when they tried to use that. It might as well use the grenade launcher, dude. He's not really gonna do too much right here, especially because he's only doing melee attacks right now. He's not even using his grenades. But at this point, we shouldn't have to worry about any more specials, because I don't even think these guys are gonna get onto their last futuristic stage. Honestly, they don't even have a chance. We're gonna completely destroy them. Let's just get a ton of machine gun soldiers right now though, so they can start working on these people. And right there is going to be the 12,000 XP. We're now in the final age. We have reached the top of the technology, and our last range guys are going to be the cyborgs. Though also the last thing you can use your XP on for 7,000 XP is the death ray, so if we get that ability, we might use it. But I'm kind of just chilling here. We can use a couple cyborgs, but we have more than enough of these machine gun men in front. Maybe I should have actually had a little bit less of them so we could use more cyborgs, but you know, not the biggest deal in the world, because we are completely destroying through these people. We use a death ray. It literally just hits a single person. And now we're getting to the last final bit where there are tons of cannons, but we got all the cyborgs. We still got the machine gun men going at this. They can just destroy things. We got even more coming up. And finally, that's going to be the base done in 10:22. Now here's my run using any percent strats. And right away, all we want to worry about is producing as many slingshot men as possible. And they'll also start bringing out their guys. But all we want to do is wait for a couple of their guys to spawn. There's about 3 right there. And I gotta hope that I get some lucky fireballs. So we see we got 2 right there. If we can get a 3rd one, that'll be perfect. And now we have even more money for more slingshot men. And one thing you might notice about this version of the game is it is different. This is actually the agame.com version of the game because it is faster than the regular max game version, but that's what people use for speedruns, and that's how you play this game as fast as possible. So now we've made it to the base. All of our slingshot men are just doing everything. They still try to spawn some guys in, but they can't really do too much. And finally, as soon as that goes, that's our time, 56 seconds, which is 18th place, and I'll take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.